dead. I lived next door, and the daughter came over and said, the mother and father have been shot, and they're dead.
And she said they've been shot?
Yes. They're in the bedroom, ma'am. They're dead.
How does a wealthy entrepreneur end up shot with his wife in the presence of his kids? Why would anyone go after a peaceful couple who spent their lives taking care of special needs children and bringing them the comfort they never had? In this video, we explore the story behind the death of Byrd and Melanie Billings, who were shot in their own home in Florida. Hey there, welcome to today's video. If you've not subscribed to this channel yet, please do, and click the notification to get updates when we upload new content. Lastly, do us a favor and give this video a thumbs up while you're at it. Byrd, 66, and Melanie Billings, 43, was a couple who lived in Pensacola, Florida in a mansion with several kids they had adopted in the past. Byrd was an entrepreneur who dealt with cars and ventured into other businesses from time to time. He met Melanie when she was 25. He had just gotten divorced from his second wife at the time and was living with his two children. When they got married in 1993, Melanie had two children. One of them, named Nikki, had been diagnosed with cerebral palsy and autism, so they considered adopting a sibling with special needs for her as a companion. Interestingly, they ended up adopting 10 of them, 6 out of whom had Down syndrome and had been abused by their parents. With time, the couple opened their home to many more children with special needs and spent their lives taking care of these children and providing for them until tragedy struck in July 2009. On the 9th of July 2009, intruders broke into the Billings mansion, killing both Byrd and his wife Melanie. Byrd and Melanie were said to have been talking to someone at the door before 2 men dressed in black showed up behind Byrd. He was first shot in the leg and dragged up to the bedroom with Melanie and one of their children. Byrd was found face down by the foot of their bed with 3 bullets in his head and 1 in his leg. His wife, too, was shot in her chest and head, but she had been lying face up. Fortunately, the child who was taken up and the other children weren't harmed. However, the question remains, who would have done such a vile thing to this warm and harmless couple? Investigations began immediately, and information was offered to the police as a result of the willingness of the people around. Ashley Markham, who was the eldest daughter of the Billings, said her brother Jake could only scream into the phone, so she told him to hand the phone to another of the couple's 9 adopted special needs children, a young girl. It was this girl who then ran to the home of the nurse who lived on the property and called for help. From the report, the Billings had been shot to death in their bedroom, where there were no video cameras. But here's the really peculiar thing. The safe, which was taken from the family's home, contained nothing of value. However, there was a second safe that wasn't stolen, and it contained $164,000 in cash, according to court records. Apparently, the robbers had taken the first safe in, hoping that it contained some money or other expensive things they could sell. However, from investigations, the police discovered that it had only been filled with medicine, some documents, and jewelry. So this suggests that the main reason behind the killing of Billings was probably financial. Due to the availability of footage as a result of the surveillance cameras around the home, the police were able to get a head start on the complex investigation. As the police began their investigations into the Billings murder, using surveillance footage from cameras around the deceased couple's home, they discovered that this wasn't just a case of a burglary gone wrong. The movements of the suspects showed that the operation had been planned with intention. The number of people involved and the time they spent in the house during the operation showed that this operation was definitely planned. First, the footage reveals that 2 vans pulled up and 5 people stepped out of it to go into the home of the Billings. From there, it was deciphered that the drivers must have remained in the car waiting for them. Therefore, the team must have been a team of 7. One of these vehicles was traced to a man named Leonard Patrick Gonzalez Sr. This man admitted to painting his car over so he could disguise it from the police. From there, they also learned that he had a power washing business, and he had worked at the Billings mansion before. He admitted to being the getaway driver while others broke into the house. This information led to further revelation about another player in the game, Gonzalez's son, Leonard Gonzalez Jr. Leonard Gonzalez Jr. was a self-defense tutor in the city and one day decided to set up his own martial arts studio. However, he didn't have all the capital he needed, so he decided to obtain a loan from Bird. Now, whatever may have occurred about that interaction between Bird and Gonzalez is not certain. However, what we know is that after that, Leonard Gonzalez Jr. would mastermind the breaking in of the Billings. It was Leonard Gonzalez Jr. who dressed his partners in ninja-like outfits and taught them how to carry out the operation. But Gonzalez's involvement was only one side of the operation. Further investigation by the police would later uncover that one of the cars used to carry out this operation was a 15-passenger red van belonging to a woman named Pamela Wiggins. This van had been used to transport weapons used during the crime and also transport the safe they had stolen from the Billings. As you might suspect, Wiggins' involvement in the case wasn't just coincidence. In fact, it was alleged that she was with them in the car during the operation and had knowledge of what they were going to do. It didn't take anything for her husband to expose her, leading the police to where she had hidden the safe in the backyard of one of their homes. She was then arrested, but her husband wasn't, since he had complied with the police. Afterward, she was granted bail of $10,000 while she waited for trial. In total, the police arrested 8 people for the murder of the Billings couple: Leonard Patrick Gonzalez Sr., Leonard Gonzalez Jr., Rakeem Florence, Frederick Thornton, Wayne Coldiron, Gary Sumner, Donnie Stallworth, and Pamela Long Wiggins. All 8 individuals were all arrested and brought in for trial, after which they received sentences deserving of the crimes they committed. Leonard Patrick Gonzalez Jr. was convicted of 2 death penalties for 2 counts of first-degree murder and was given a life sentence for 1 count of home invasion robbery with a firearm. Donnie Stallworth was given 2 consecutive life sentences for 2 counts of first-degree murder and a lengthy prison sentence for 1 count of home invasion robbery with a firearm. Wayne Coldiron was given 2 consecutive life sentences for 2 counts of first-degree murder and a lengthy prison sentence for 1 count of home invasion robbery with a firearm. Frederick Thornton, who pled guilty and testified against co-defendants, was given 2 concurrent 40-year sentences for 2 counts of second-degree murder and a concurrent 22-year sentence for 1 count of home invasion robbery with a firearm. In total, that is 22 years in prison and 18 years of probation soon after. Rakeem Florence, who also pled guilty and testified against co-defendants, was given 2 concurrent 45-year sentences for 2 counts of second-degree murder and a concurrent 24-year sentence for 1 count of home invasion robbery with a firearm. In total, he was given 24 years in prison and 21 years of probation soon after. Gary Sumner, who had been the getaway driver and guarded the back of the house, pled guilty and was given 2 concurrent 20-year sentences for 2 counts of second-degree murder and a concurrent 20-year sentence for 1 count of home invasion robbery with a firearm. As for Leonard Patrick Gonzalez Sr., who was the getaway driver at the front of the house, he also pled guilty and was given 2 concurrent 17.5-year sentences for 2 counts of second-degree murder and a concurrent 17.5-year sentence for 1 count of home invasion robbery with a firearm. And finally, there was Pamela Long Wiggins, who was an accessory to the crime. Wiggins was convicted by the jury and given concurrent 28-year and 12-year sentences for 2 counts of accessory after the fact to a felony. In 2015, both Pamela Long Wiggins and Leonard Patrick Gonzalez Sr. died in prison. With justice now served and the dust gradually settling, the real victims of this gruesome crime begin to appear. The kids, whom Bird and Melanie loved so much. Fortunately, the kids didn't have to be absorbed into the system. Ashley Markham, the oldest child of the Billings, took them in and continues to take care of them with her husband till today. The Billings murder might be gruesome, But at least the family that the Billings left behind can have some closure, knowing that justice was served accordingly. Let us know what your thoughts are about this story by dropping your comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.